Forgot to do this before the video. Been a long time. Today I use Barista from Crowne and Crane, and I talk about Harry R. Truman, the $10 hero. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, how you doing? John Bonham here, Cape Cod Wet Shaving. History shave time. Real quick, let me get the coffee of the day out of the way. Breakfast blend from Sterling Roastery. Little lighter. I generally do not drink breakfast blends. They're a little on the light side, not as deeply roasted as I would prefer. However, Sterling breakfast blend is extremely flavorful. Very, very good coffee. Can't recommend it enough. I don't think there's a single blend of theirs I don't like. So, wonderful stuff. All right, so today's history shave is going to be about a man named Harry R. Truman, not Harry S. Truman, the president. Although both of them coincidentally have something in common. Real quick, I don't know if you knew this, but the S in Harry S. Truman doesn't mean anything. He has no middle name. All right, pretty interesting little snippet there. Same with Harry R. Truman. I think he did have a middle name, but he himself did not know what it was. But I'll get to that. I'm getting ahead of myself. Software I'm going to be using today is going to be Barista from Crowne and Crane. Wonderful, wonderful soap. If you're a coffee fan, I recommend it. The only thing is it's not specifically only coffee, okay? It has coffee in it, you can get it, but it's blended in with the other scent notes. It's not coffee with scent on top of it. It's coffee integrated with other scents, okay? Good stuff. Any of Crowne and Crane's soaps I would recommend to you. And this is her tallow. Her vegan base is also on par with her tallow base. Really, I was going to say you can't tell the difference. I mean, you can a little, but that might almost be borderline psychological. They're wonderful, wonderful bases, both of her tallow and vegan. And the proprietor and artisan is a woman named Liz Klingman. Wonderful lady, very, very sweet. She's very good at what she does, but she's also a sweetheart. She has a honey bar soap that she sent me for Christmas. How you doing, Liz, if you see this? Just an all-around wonderful lady. And as I say all the time, if I want the item, I'll get it, but I also like buying from the person. You know what I mean? Not just from the company. So, right. I also have the matching balm. I got to get used to that. Matching balm with that. Now, the scent notes of this are coffee, lemon, apple, lavender, spearmint, orange flower, steamed milk, sandalwood, and cedarwood. So it's a little on the sweeter side, but it has a woody undertone to it, obviously the base notes. Because of that, I'm going to be using Sandalwood Amber from Bricktown Grooming, which Barbary Pirates, say Sandalwood Amber splash, excuse me. Just perfect. Matches beautifully with it. It draws up some of the woody undertones, and that amber adds a touch of the sweetness to it. And where is it? And the Cremo Bourbon Vanilla beard oil pulls up some of the sweetness, so it balances it out really nicely. Hardware I'm going to be using, I've never used this razor. Never used it. I got this at the meetup, the Ariana and Evans meetup. It's the Feather, I think it's called, what is it called? DAR something, I can't remember. I just put it on my post. DARA, I believe is what it's called. But it's the feather adjustable. It only has two settings, 1 and 2. I have it on 1. I do not like an overly aggressive razor usually. Sometimes I'll just do it to do it, but for the most part. I also went ahead and pre-lathered to save some time, okay? So let's get into it, shall we? I already got this pre-shave on as well. So Harry R. Truman, the $10 hero. The reason I call him the $10 hero is because it's from an older saying that I had to look up. Later on, someone states this about him, that he had a $10 name. And a $10 name is basically a Joe everybody, if that makes sense. It's nothing substantial that sticks out, like Benedict Cumberbatch or something like that. I don't know why that's what popped into my head, but that's a very memorable name, you know what I mean. John Bonham, that's a memorable name. The drummer, not me. People remember my name because of him. So So the $10 hero, that's why I call it that. So Harry R. Truman was an American born on an unknown date. He was born in October. He himself does not know the date, and I don't think he had a birth certificate. Or he had one after the fact, and no one remembered the actual date he was born. So it was October of 1896. And he never knew the day, as I said. Let me go ahead and get to the lathering. Oh, this is really good. Really, really good soap. I just got some on my handle. I do not like soap on my brush handle while lathering or after. Just irks me for some reason. All right. He was a bootlegger, a prospector, and a businessman. Sounds bad. It's not. I mean, it is technically. He's breaking the law, but you'll see. He's not a bad guy. Just ornery, as we would call him. So he was born in a log cabin in Ivydale, West Virginia. To this day, Ivydale is a very tiny village. I think there's like 200 residents, something like that. It's still a very place that time forgot, as they call it. Get some more water here. Lather's been sitting there. Oh, that's good. Get the honey, or orange, excuse me, the orange blossom. I almost said honey blossom. Oh, you get the coffee. But it's a creamy latte-ish kind of coffee. I don't know what steamed milk smells like, but I imagine that's part of it. Teeny bit of the lemon. Oh, I didn't tell you the blades. I'm using Big Ben blades. These are all right. They're Egyptian blades. They're okay. I haven't used them in a long time. Nothing to write home about, but nothing to really complain about either. They're just, you know, cool looking. I like the box. That's actually what made me buy them. Okay. Here we go. Feather adjustable, first pass. So, he also never knew his middle name, as I aforementioned. Some believed it was Randall, while his draft card said Rainel. R-A-I-N-E-L. So I'm guessing Rainel? I don't know. Is this even shaving? Yeah, it is. Okay. I don't think I had the angle right. Wow. You know what? I'm going to bump that up to a 2. Wow, how about that? This thing's pretty neat. Look at this. You switch that over, this little thing. Let's switch that to a 2. That actually is not shaving very well. Perhaps I see now why it was at the piff table, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. I think I see why it was piffed. There we go. I don't think I've ever had that happen. I really like mild razors. That was too mild. I've never had that happen. In fact, I don't know if I like this razor. This is the first time this has ever happened. I'm toying with stopping the video and going and get another razor. This thing sucks. All right, let's finish the shave. This razor sucks. Huh. Unless I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. If anyone's watching this that's used this, I'm kind of curious. Say something in the comments what you think about it. I don't like it. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting away. I shouldn't have used a new razor for this. I didn't expect this to happen. Okay. His family moved out west to join in the successful timber industry located out west. They would go on to settle on 160 acres. He enlisted in the Army in August of 1917 and served in the 100th Aero Squadron in World War I. He also survived the sinking of the SS Tuscania. So the SS Tuscania, I won't get too far into it, was torpedoed by a U-boat during World War I. I think it was like 83 people, something like that, perished. Maybe I'm wrong. I do remember it was a U-boat, though. This razor is awful. I hate it. It's not cutting. Maybe it's this razor with this blade. I mean, it's a feather razor. So I'm sure they want you to use a feather blade. But dude, if I were using a feather blade right now, I'd be gashing myself apart. This razor sucks. Ugh. Man, all right. He would be honorably discharged in June 12, 1919. He attempted prospecting after, but was unsuccessful. He eventually became a bootlegger and smuggler during the Prohibition era. Okay? So, man did what he did. Like so many. There's a lot of people, far more than what, you see movies and stuff. You talk about the famous ones, but there were a lot of people that did bootlegging. Because it's, best way to make money. Yeah, the Prohibition officers even they'd be on the take. Because they got paid chump change. All right. So you'll notice I haven't had any pictures so far. I tried like hell to find some pictures of him when he was enlisted, but try looking up Truman and Army. Because Harry Truman, the other Harry Truman, was also in World War I. And he wore glasses even then, interestingly. So, pretty cool. All right. So here we go. First photo. He would eventually lease 50 acres of land from a railroad company. I'm withholding a lot of stuff here on purpose. I'm being vague. Because towards the end, you'll see. He decided to open a gas station, a grocery store, and a lodge next to a body of water called Spirit Lake. And he would run this lodge for 52 years. There's Harry in his older years, sitting in front of his lodge. Okay? That's what he looked like. He was married 3 times. He and his first wife divorced in 1931. I didn't see why. His second filed for divorce after Harry would throw her in the lake during arguments. Okay? I believe this is actually a photo of Harry with a friend. I thought it was his first wife, but I think that's just a friend of his. Might be his first wife. I can't tell. But he was known to be cantankerous, I guess is the word you could use. Very much my way or the highway. But his second wife actually couldn't swim. So I think that's why he made it a point to throw her in the lake. To be a dick. There's really no other way to put it. So, let's see. His third marriage was to a woman named Edna. Okay? He considered her the love of his life. And both of them would agree later that it was love at first sight when they met each other. Okay? It's a photo of Harry and Edna, who he called Eddie, or Edie. E-D-I-E, I believe Edie. And she ended up staying with him at his lodge, and the two of them began running it together. She actually was a guest at the lodge first. And both of them they had an affair together, I'll say that. She was married, and I think he was in the process of divorcing his second wife. but they ended up together. Harry was notorious in the area. He got a state official drunk so he could do some illegal burning. So he got I think a Texas Ranger, not a Texas Ranger, what is wrong with me? A wildlife ranger drunk so he could burn some brush, other stuff, probably trash. There's a customer, so the state that he was in changed their tax laws and the taxes that they were supposed to charge. He refused and kept the taxes the same and still charged people as such. And one of the customers didn't like that and called him out on it, and he pushed him into the lake. He loved putting people in Spirit Lake, man. So one day state officials came to his lodge and informed him he had to leave his lodge. A potential disaster was looming. There's Harry with a law enforcement official. Don't know why this photo was taken. I would imagine it has to do with what's coming. Don't know. But Harry refused. His wife had died of a heart attack 2 years prior in 1978. And in his words, she had never had any heart problems. Just one day she was walking around, the next she had a massive heart attack and she was gone just like that. And he would never get over it. It devastated him. And in fact, he really basically shut the lodge down after that. He kept it open bare bones, just enough to pay the bills and buy his whiskey. He was a Shenley's and Coke fan. But he rented out just enough canoes and enough lodging to pay for the land and pay for himself, and that was it. He had lost the spirit and the will to keep it going without eating. Heart attack 2 years prior. The lodge and lake were all he knew, and he had left. There's a picture of Spirit Lake from one of many angles. Not the most famous angle, but this is a good one. So most people in the vicinity decided to leave due to the possible incoming disaster, but Harry steadfastly would not budge. Even state police could not make him go. The state police came to him increasingly more and more towards the end, a few times a day, saying, "Hey dude, you need to leave." And he was like, "No, I'm not leaving." This is one of the most awful razors I've ever used. It's making me question everything I know about shaving. I'm like, is my angle wrong? Part of it might be the blade. Honestly. But this thing, I'm going against the grain and I got stubble here. This razor sucks. It sucks. Don't buy this razor. If you ever see it, I think it's like 30 bucks. I went and looked it up so I could talk about it. Well, talk about it I am. Sucks. I need to go look up reviews for this thing. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. Right now, I'm not happy with it. I'm glad I didn't buy it. I'd be pissed off if I bought this. Anyway, sorry. Okay. Most people in the vicinity. He became an overnight celebrity. He appeared in the New York Times, National Geographic, a few other publications, the San Francisco newspaper, I forget what it's called, and the Today Show. Grade school children wrote a banner. They made a giant banner stating they loved him. "We love you, Harry." It brought him to tears, truly moved him. They wrote him letters, all kinds of stuff. Here's a screenshot of Harry on the news. In fact, this is a still shot from a link that I'm going to put in the description on YouTube. So there is a YouTube interview, a few of them, or a YouTube interview, a news interview with him, a few of them, but the one I'm going to post in the description is, I think, the most meaningful of the ones I found. Okay. He received dozens of letters. I think he got a couple of marriage proposals, which I'm sure he did not answer. And he became a folk hero of sorts, a local celebrity, and a minor one. He had a song written about him, and since then he's had a few. When I went and did my Instagram post, I went up and looked him up. Almost used one, but the lyrics gave away a lot of stuff, and I don't want people basically hearing the video in 30 seconds of song, because then there's no point to watch this. So, one evening, officials made one last attempt to make Truman leave his lodge, and he refused. And it would be the last time. All right. This was about 6 p.m. in the evening. And when these officials left, they said the last thing they saw him doing was milling around his property, taking care of some stuff outside. And that was the last time he was seen. Harry R. Truman's Lodge and Spirit Lake were located in Skamania County, Washington State. They both lay at the foot of a very big-ass mountain. This mountain, the nickname at that time, was Mount Fuji of the Pacific Northwest. And the mountain was Mount St. Helens. There's Harry with Mount St. Helens behind him. That was a promotional photo taken leading up to what you now know was the eruption. At around 8:30 a.m., it was about 8:31, 8:32 a.m., May 18th, 1980, Mount St. Helens erupted. The largest landslide in recorded history, along with a pyroclastic flow, destroyed the lodge and the lake. There's a photo of the actual eruption happening. So, what happened was a bulge had begun forming. I'm afraid to do this. On the north side, the northern slope of Mount St. Helens. And what this bulge was a weak spot in the rock of the mountain itself, where pressure was building up, and instead of getting to the top of the cone, it was pushing out of this bulge, and this noticeable lump started forming in the north side of the mountain. There were several daily instances of earthquakes. Harry Truman himself even had gotten so accustomed to them over a month that he had a sign hanging up in his lodge, and if that sign shook so bad that it banged the wall, he said that was at least a 5.0 on the Richter scale. No one can really, compare it now, obviously, but he got adept at feeling these earthquakes. He once joked that he wore spurs to bed so that he could grind his spurs into the mattress to keep from falling out of bed, because he would get woken up in the middle of the night from the earthquakes. But this bulge finally just blew out. The landslide began, and basically it sheared the cork off of the bottle, and then everything came out. Truman and his numerous cats, he had 16 cats, lonely guy. His numerous cats most likely died from heat shock before they realized what had hit them. So he was about a mile from Mount St. Helens. So if you looked at it from his lodge, there's the whole lake, tons of trees, and then the mountain. Before he even knew what hit him, all of that material and debris had come down and hit him. And the heat shock flash basically roasted him. I know that's graphic. So quickly that he more than likely didn't feel the pain of it. That's how fast it happened. He was dead before he even knew what hit him. He and his lodge and the lake were buried under 150 feet of debris. Here's a before and after photo of Spirit Lake. And that's the angle I was talking about. That's the famous angle of Spirit Lake with Mount St. Helens in the background. All right. So before I get to this part, let me go rinse this off. I'm going to do post. I'll be right back. Alrighty. You know what? I'm still going to put a damn fine shave in the post. I'll just do that. Because it was a damn fine shave, regardless of everything else about it went great. Save for this confounded razor. This razor was awful. And I can't believe it. I'm not red. I was struggling, man. I could feel like the hair's getting cut. I can't believe I'm not red. I thought for sure I'd at least have a couple of weepers, but go figure. All right. So, sorry, I'm just relishing. I didn't even talk about the scent. So it's good. It's a sweet coffee, but macchiato-ish kind of coffee, not black kind of coffee. If you want a very heavy coffee scent, this isn't one for you. It's good. I'd recommend it still. But it's not a very coffee forward like Affogato from Hoffman's or Mochaccino from the Shave Mercantile. There's another one I'm thinking of. There's Almond Biscotti from McDuff's, but that's more of a very sweet almondy cherry kind of scent. There's one more coffee one I can't think of. Oh well. So Truman's remains have never been found. His niece made a statement after his death. Be a fact, there was also a book that I'm going to put in the description. I'll put what it's called. I couldn't find a link. There's another book that's available on Amazon right now, but the book that his niece wrote, I couldn't find it for sale. I'm sure it's used somewhere if you came across it. But the book is called Truman of St. Helens, The Man in His Mountain. That just scared the living piss out of me. Sounded like something was opening the door. I'm not in the mood for ghosts or demonic possession right now. That was weird. Damn it, James Hetfield. I think I need some new tape. Okay. Alright, anyway, so Truman of St. Helens, The Man in His Mountain by his niece Shirley Rosen. That was the book she wrote. Excuse me. So she stated, after his death, he always said it was his mountain and his lake, that they were like his arms and his legs, just a part of him. Being a celebrity was the peak of his life. But if he saw things how they are now, destroyed and gone, it would have killed him anyways. He wanted to die at Spirit Lake, and he got what he wanted. And here's a memorial. Today, that's what's there. You can see what's left of St. Helens there, and you can see the teeny little cone starting to form in the middle there. Still active, dormant, but active. And right there you can see Harry Truman amongst the list of other casualties of the eruption. So this might be a little more known to people, especially if you're old enough to remember the eruption. I wasn't born yet. I was born in '82. It's about a year and a half before I was born. But I remember when I was reading on Wikipedia random stuff and I came across this. It's like, I've never heard of this guy. He sounds like a character. So there you go. That's Harry R. Truman, not S. Truman, who lived a pretty interesting life. There's more to him, a lot more. And again, this is 3 pages I just went through. So I left out a lot, a whole lot. He did a lot of interesting stuff, this guy. He used to go hunting on like sacred Native American land and stuff like that. This guy did not give a shit. It's really funny. Pardon my French. So, all right. Let me go ahead and do the balm, and that will be it. Whoopsie. I hope everyone liked this one. Sorry it's been a while. I think what I'm going to do, I might do a history shave like one a month for right now. The reason being it's going to be temporary. The reason being because I actually want to do some reviews of some stuff that I have. I have a bar of shaving soap that I've never seen anyone else use or talk about that I'm going to use. I have some pucks I just bought from Mag T. I want to use those, see how they are. I want to do a Club and Pinode, whatever, across the board shave like I did with Vanderhagen. Stuff like that. And then I have some upcoming lives hopefully coming up with some people. Just me, not Shave Tech. So we'll see. I have some stuff on the horizon. Yeah, I think that'll just about do it. This freaking thing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for returning. If you returned, if you're new, thank you. Especially if you made it to the end. I usually don't say this in my videos, but every now and then I'll throw it in. Just please, if you get a chance, like, subscribe, share it if you want to share it. I guess all that helps with the algorithm. I don't know. But that'll do it. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the advent of spring. What is this, day 2 or 3 of spring? And it's below freezing. It was 17 degrees outside. So we're getting snow right above us. Good times. Everyone be safe. Y'all take care. And as always, happy shaving. Till next time, take it easy.